निम्ति आएका छौँ। शिरान इल्लान पेरुमा उहाँ श्रीलङ्कादेखि आइपुगिसक्नु भएको छ। अनि बाँकी रह्यो भोलिको कुरा हामी भोलि नै गरौँला। भाइ त्यहाँ ढोका लगाइदिनु भयो हुन्छ, अनि पछाडिको गेटबाट आउनुहुन्छ, लगाइदिनुहोस् अघि जस्तै। त्यो रिबन एउटा यसो बाँधिदिनु भएको थियो नि है, त्यसै गरिदिनु होला। मलाई लाग्छ आजका वक्ता देखिरहेछन् मैले डाक्टर भीम रावल। एकचोटि भोलिन्टियर साथीहरूले उहाँ कहाँ अल्मलिनु भएको होला, गएर बोलाइदिनु हुन म अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु। डाक्टर भीम रावललाई म पर्खिँदैछु। अनि उहाँलाई पर्खिन्जेल नेपालीमै बोलिरहेको छु। म अलिकति कुरा, म दुईवटा कुरा यहाँलाई हार्दिक निवेदन गर्न चाहन्छु। एक, सबैको गोजीमा यो बडा काम लाग्ने विषय छ, एउटा यो असाध्य काम लाग्ने वस्तु छ, मोबाइल भन्छ क्यारे यसलाई। मेरो कुरा सुनिराख्नु भएको छ है सबैजनाले। यो मोबाइललाई चाहिँ कृपया कि अफ गरिदिनुहोस् कि कमसेकम साइलेन्ट मोडमा राखिदिनु होला। सुनिराख्नु भएको छ है मलाई। यो चाहिँ कुनै पनि गोष्ठीको पहिलो नियम जस्तो लाग्छ है मलाई। रुल अफ द गेम भन्छ क्यारे, खेलको पहिलो नियम जस्तो लाग्छ। यद्यपि यसको सुमधुर आवाज मलाई पनि सुन्न मन लाग्छ, तर मलाई लाग्छ आज चाहिँ त्यो सुमधुर आवाज So we have passed 6 minutes है त 6 मिनट गइसकेको रहेछ। यसलाई मैले अब सुरु नै गर्नुपर्छ। फाउन्डेसनका चेयर विकेमान सर सुरु गर्दा हुन्छ है अब। हस्, नेपाली अङ्ग्रेजीमा म दुवै गर्दै जानेछु। खास गरेर आज हाम्रा केही विदेशी पाहुनाहरू भएको हुनाले हामीले कसको भर्खर बज्यो नेपाली र अङ्ग्रेजी दुवै भाषामा हामी गर्दैछौँ। खास गरेर विदेशी मित्रहरू रहनु भएको हुनाले अङ्ग्रेजीमा पनि हामीले गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। र सुरु गर्दै म सुरुमा त डाक्टर भीम रावललाई आजका जो वक्ता हुनुहुन्छ यो विशेष सेसनको, उहाँलाई पोडियममा आइदिनु हुन म हार्दिक निवेदन गर्न चाहन्छु। मेरो नाम दिनेश भुजु र म यो सेसनको अध्यक्षता गर्ने हुँ र मलाई आज त्यो मौका मिलेको छ। So welcome back to the session after the launch. As I briefly mentioned, we have a special session now entitled The MCC Project in Nepal, Initiation and Implications. And we are privileged to invite no other than a person who has been raging with allowed to be heard by everyone in Nepal and abroad. The person is no other than Dr. Bhim Rawal. Well, Dr. Rawal is a public figure. He doesn't need an introduction. However, some of you or many of you may not know, which I would like to present briefly. With your permission, sir. Personally, I have known Dr. Rao since he was a student leader at Tribhuvan University, Kirtipur. It was back in 1980s. Rather, I would say back in late 1970s. The spirit of fairness, nidarta ke, nidarta huncha ni, fearlessness, he has maintained till date. Of course, he had assumed probably Nepal's the highest political position like Deputy Prime Minister. More than that, he has contributed taking the helm of Defense Minister, Minister for Home Affairs, Minister for Commerce, Tourism and Civil Aviation, and most importantly, he was once the Minister of Science and Technology. धेरैलाई थाहा छैन होला खाली गृहमन्त्री मात्र भन्छ नो Bhim Rawal is more than that. And Dr. Rawal, he comes from Acham. कुनै जमानामा दुर्गम जिल्ला थियो त्यो उहाँको जमानामा दुर्गम जिल्ला हो मेरो टाइममा पनि दुर्गम जिल्ला हो And he did his masters and also doctorate from Tribhuvan University. विषय पनि खँदिलो छ उहाँको political science. More than that, more than political science, he is also a lawyer. कतिलाई थाहा छ थाहा मलाई थाहा छैन सायद धेरै कमलाई थाहा होला he is a lawyer actually. बार एसोसिएसनमा हुनुहुन्थ्यो हैन हजुर टाउको हल्लाउनु भयो नि So what he speaks, you know, दम छ के त्यसमा त्यो त्यतिकै नेता पल्टेर बोलेको हुँदै होइन भीम रावलले दम छ त्यसमा कानुनका व्यक्ता पनि हुनुहुन्छ It was back in 1980s. Besides, he has also contributed being in the UN मिसनहरुमा पनि उहाँ बसिसक्नु भएको छ बिर्सनै नहुने चाहिँ कम्बोडियाको इलेक्सनमा he was there UN को मिसनमा हुनुहुन्थ्यो कम्बोडियाको हामी अहिले कम्पुचिया भन्थ्यो त्यो बेला अहिले त कम्बोडिया भन्छ त्यसको मिसनमा 1992 देखि 1993 मा हुनुहुन्थ्यो अनि एमसीसी सँग के लेना देना त हजुरहरुलाई लाग्ला इस सो कल्ड डेभलपमेन्ट मिसन हैन यो एमसीसी उहाँले नेपाललाई प्रतिनिधित्व गरेर संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघको एमडीजी मिलेनियम डेभलपमेन्ट गोल सहस्राब्दी विकास लक्ष्यहरुमा पनि सहभागी भएर बोल्नु भएको छ र नेपालको संसद मात्र होइन संविधान सभामा पनि उहाँ दुवैपल्ट हुनुहुन्थ्यो So he represents Nepal's history. नेपालको पोलिटिकल हिस्ट्रीको एउटा हिस्सा हुनुहुन्छ डाक्टर भीम रावल र बिर्सनै नहुने कुरा चाहिँ he is a critic of MCC. एउटा कुरासँग म असहमत छु जुन कुरा धेरै ठाउँमा उहाँको बारेमा लेखिन्छ उहाँलाई चाहिँ कतिपयले र कति ठाउँमा नेशनलिस्ट त्यो पनि राइट नेशनलिस्ट भनेर लेखिएको छ I differ. I see and I have seen him as a patriot. देशभक्तको रूपमा मैले उहाँलाई देखेको छु not right nationalist. यो कुरा त उहाँले पछि बुझाउनु नै होला So with this very short introduction of this big personality, I would like to invite Dr. Bhim Rawal with big hands.
त्यो जोड दिनु। Thank you very much, my dear friend, Dr. Buju. At this moment, I am recalling those days when we are studying at the Tirbhuvan University, and Dr. Buju was representing a very revolutionary student organization from Bhaktapur. Still, I have the fresh memory of those days. Thank you, Dr. Chairperson. I'm not sure whether I can make justice to this vast topic within 20 minutes. I'm afraid I may not be able to make justice to this topic. किनभने अलिकति भनिहाल्नु नेपालीमा पनि यति धेरै सम्झौता, there are so many agreements, understanding, letters, and classified materials are there, done between Nepal and the United States. यस्तो स्थिति छ। मैले as far as possible, I tried my best to study all those documents and writings when I was one of the members of the task force constituted by Communist Party of Nepal. Our leader, former Prime Minister Zhalnath Khanal, was the convener. And then Bhagwali was also a member of the task force. Unfortunately, sadly, I would like to mention the fact that at that time, UNL General Secretary Vishnu Paudel was at the headquarters. KP Oli was the Prime Minister. But what happened? Even Mr. Khanal asked for all those documents in writing as the convener of the documents, of the task force. But the government did not provide those documents. We repeatedly persuaded Mr. Pradeep Giwali to take the responsibility to provide all those documents related to the bilateral exchanges between two countries. But at this point, I have to say, unwillingly, he did not fulfill his responsibility. This is the situation. He was the foreign minister. Anyway, 20 minutes are not enough. Okay. You can see the logo. Before I enter into this deliberation, again, I would like to pay my due respect to the former Prime Minister, senior leader, Comrade Mohan Vikram Singh, and all those political personalities, academician, paper writers, panelists, and above all, distinguished participant. Namaskar. Who owns the project? There are two logos. It is astonishing Nepal government cannot use its logo in the project activities. And the entire copyright lies or invested to the MCC. And all intellectual properties belongs to MCC. Okay, it's enough. And I shall try my best to finish my presentation within 20 minutes. That's why I have to go very quickly. Excuse me for my fastness because of the time limitation. I will be very brief to all topics. In the US, what happened? You can go through very quickly. As I said in my earlier presentation or speech, in 2002, it was started in the US. Then it rolled on. Agadi बढ्यो. त्यसपछि 2004 enacted a law, and then in 2004, 17 countries signed, and it went on, and the name of the agreement was put Compact, and before the Compact, Threshold program was launched. Initially, 33 countries were there receiving the projects, and there were so many controversies. It was from the very beginning, as I said, related to the US security and strategy. Why I am saying so? I am completely 100% based on facts and the written statements on the documents and public statements made by US ministries, ministers, strategic reports, and high authority. You can see how those documents and the US officials and the ministers, they publicly mentioned that MCC is the part of US security strategy. You can see all in the list how these documents mention about that fact. In Nepal, in January 2012, a formal correspondence was made when Dr. Baburam Bhattarai was the Prime Minister. My friends from the Maoist Party may be very angry when I put this fact, but this is the fact. In 2013, a joint team of MCC, led by MCC, formed in Nepal, and the leaders who guided the study was the US citizen, you see. So in April 2012, the government published a document, or a notice in Nepal Gazette, Millennium Challenge Account MCA Development Committee was formed. At that time, the government had already decided not to form any development committee. Vikas Samiti सबै खारिज गरिसकेको थियो. Why the MCC was exception? Anyway, Finance Minister, before the formation of the development committee, you can see Nepal Growth Diagnostics. A study was carried out under the leadership of US MCC members. Some people, they argue, no, this is the Nepali project. If it was the Nepali project, then why US-led committee was formed which brought this Nepal Growth Diagnostic? You can read it if you search in the internet. As you see, then Finance Minister, before it was the original agreement was signed by Gyanendra Karki, a Nepali Congress leader and the Finance Minister in the US, ignoring the protocols, you see. A minister from any country cannot sign such agreement and a treaty with a bureaucrat. But it happened. Later on, Dr. Yuvaraj Khatiwada did the same. Who was the Prime Minister at that time? Who guided to do that? Mr. KP Oli. He might be angry when I put this fact in public. But I don't care. Ratification of the MCC agreement. It is ridiculous. When the MCC project was very much debated in public, but in the House of Representatives, no member of parliament was allowed to speak. I asked the then House Speaker, Agni Sapkota, to give me time. He restricted me within 5 minutes. You see? A member of parliament was not allowed to speak at length. But anyway, I presented my opinion in writing due to the time constraint. And the members from the UML, led by Mr. K.P. Oli, was making loud noise, chanting slogans for the resignation of the House Speaker. But what happened? After 3 days of the ratification of the agreement, they withdrew from the demand. What was the intention? Intention was Mr. Dewa and his allies in the government were ready to ratify on behalf of the state, and KP Oli was creating the environment. That was the situation. Now you can see the guidance of the Constitution of Nepal. As I already stated, the provisions of Constitution of Nepal strongly restrict to enter into any sorts of security alliance. The article of the Constitution 51D clearly stipulates Nepal will not enter into such agreement pursuing the policy and the principles of UN Charter, non-alignment, world peace, and above all, national interest of Nepal. And all unequal treaties will be looked into and corrected. What happened? Neither about two-third majority of the Nepal Communist Party, nor other political parties, they entered into the provision of the Constitution. Acceptance of foreign loans and grants. Also, there is clear provision in the Constitution of Nepal. Strictly follow to develop national economy and to take international loan and grant only to those areas of national priority. What happened to MCC? Loans and grant received from any country should not harm the interest, freedom, independence, law, and dignity of Nepal. Isn't it? We are not opposing any country, including US. What would happen if the US had to sign such agreement, taking some grant or loans from China, Japan, or India? What would happen? This is the point. Conclusion of treaties and agreement based on equality and mutual interest. As I said, previously I mentioned Article 51M, 2. Budget and expenditure. Look into the budget. Now, the total budget is 747 million, Nepalese rupees 1 trillion, 2 billion. If you classify it, if you divide it, a huge amount goes to administration, and the headquarters is in the 5-star hotel. If it was really for the Nepali people, why this office is not inside the ministry? It is astonishing. Even the US advisors are allowed to sign in the checks. What is this? MCA Nepal, completely under MCC. Even the government cannot direct, suggest any policy, and supervise the MCA Nepal. But they argue, well, the chair of the MCA Nepal is the secretary from the Ministry of Finance. That's why It is under the Nepal government. It is ridiculous. You can see the budget division. Nepal is contributing 197 million. But in any agreement, including the main compact agreement, nothing is mentioned how the contribution of Nepal will be utilized. In case the project is not completed within 5 years, then there are so many clauses and provisions clearly state US will bring back his money. But what will happen to the so-called grant made by the Nepal government to the project? What would happen? Nothing. You see, estimated 110 million amount of MCC per year. It can be easily managed in the country. I can give you only one example. Nepal government has not been able to recover more than 75 billion rupees from a single NCL. More than 22 billion Nepalese rupees is due to recover from the big industrialists for the utilization of electricity. There are so many areas. 110 million means about 11 billion a year. It is not a big deal. But due to the selfish nature and behavior of the leaders and the prime ministers, this happened in Nepal. There are so many misleading provisions about the duration, time frame of the project itself. Though they say this is for the 5 years, but you can see many provisions which give sweeping powers to MCC, even to command and control the transmission line, the land utilized for transmission line, and its infrastructure. It is indefinite. We can find many provisions contrary to the Nepali laws and vital interest. It is almost impossible to explain about all those provisions due to time constraints. You can see very quickly how many clauses are there. I am not speaking in empty. I can challenge any prime minister, any expert to discuss on the basis of these facts. It is not a matter of anger to any country, but it is a matter to safeguard our country, our people, our dignity, our sovereignty, and our independence, isn't it? This is what a patriotic citizen should think. It is unbelievable. US law, even future law, prevail over the laws of Nepal. I have given the articles and the facts. Can anyone challenge me? I have asked Prime Minister, then Prime Minister, and leaders of the political parties to come forward to discuss with me. But they never did that, even in the parliamentary committees. They always try to evade, to come up, to talk about the facts, provisions, documents, agreements, and its serious negative implications on the long-run existence, dignity, independence of our beloved motherland. You say, even the cancellation, MCC can cancel any time, any moment, without any reason. But there is a clause, 30 minutes, giving 30 days notice, a country can cancel this project. If Nepal does so, then Nepal has to pay all compensations to the US. But if US does it, US does not have to do anything. That's why I call it unequal treaty. MCC-led project selection, I already put it. Selection of the project to the satisfaction of the MCC and consent of India. Think, can it happen in any sovereign, independent country of the world? Such thing can happen only colonized country. From the perspective of international law and our national law, you see. So, MCC will have subsequent control. Even there is not only compact agreement, but also there are several agreements made by MCA Nepal with several ministries and departments. Is MCA Nepal is a country which can compel to sign the ministry and departments to move ahead according to its guidance. What is this? MCC procure the materials, all materials. And such procurement cannot be made with such companies which have some contradiction with, okay. So I have no time. I go very sweepingly. Okay, you can see, but I cannot explain now. Exclusively one's logo, as I said. Provision of Nepal to get any money back, I already said. Then no parliamentary and administrative approval requires. If MCA Nepal and the MCC, they change annexes, agreement provisions, they can do anytime, as they wish. MCA board is not independent. No provision of how to generate the electricity and what would happen to the transmission line. No. Okay. Project partner, not explained. Liability to Nepal, very huge. Staff, according to the wish and the guideline of the MCC. No, Nepal government has no role. Current and former employees MCC are fully, they are immune even if they commit act contrary to the law of Nepal. In every aspect, actions, MCC prior approval is needed. Illusory mobs for amendments. Sometime the leaders of Nepal and the government, they try to cheat the Nepali people. I am sorry for using this word cheat. Why I am saying so? You see, correspondence was made with the MCC. Even Sher Bahadur Deuba and Pushpamal are present. They jointly wrote a letter to the US. Can it happen in another country? A sitting prime minister and leader opposition, they wrote the letter to MCC to make happy the officials of the MCC. We don't know about the response. And so you have heard about so-called interpretive declaration. They mention about the Vienna Convention on the treaty. As a student of law, I have read it several times. No Vienna Treaty Convention clauses are attracted to a unilateral interpretive declaration. It was completely illusory to make full public, to make it easier for ratification. The fact is like this. You see, our former Prime Minister Jalnath Khanal is present here. I would like to mention it with heavy heart. A high-level task force, including myself, as I said, then Foreign Minister Pradeep Giwali, he was the convener. We studied all the documents, and with hard work, we submitted the report. We had 2 chairs at that time. They thanked us, but they never allowed to discuss on our report in the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Nepal. This was the Communist Party. Ridiculous. Never. When the agenda was made, after 2 days, the parliament was dissolved. What was that? What was the conspiracy? That's why I said it illusory. Conclusion. Let me finish very quickly. The project grant is not unacceptable just because it was given by the US. It is because loans or assistance must be in accordance with the country's constitution, law, international law, norms and the country's independence and vital interest. India does so. China does so. Even the US does so. It doesn't mean that we are standing for the right and the dignity of our country. It does not mean that we are opposing any country, isn't it? So this is the issue. The Constitution of Nepal restricts, as I said, to enter into any treaty or agreement relating to security or military strategy. Nepal, according to the Constitution, has to adhere to the UN Charter. As I said, it is not necessary to explain again. Many MCC Compact Agreement and subsequent dozen agreements are not based on the principle of sovereign equality and respect Nepal's independence, national interest, rather loaded with US security strategy. US security reports and ministers have publicly stipulated, as I said, MCC as a part of the US Indo-Pacific strategy. I have to mention in this regard, when Mr. Gewali was the foreign minister, he went to the US and signed the State Partnership Agreement. I am with heavy heart when I knew and when I read 10 points of the unsigned agreement to make the military base Nepal for the US. So is this really a Communist Party and they are Communist leaders? Patriotics? I bet. Compromise on Nepal's independence, rights, law and foreign policy from Nepal and the Nepali people. Government and major parties ignored widespread opposition to MCC project in public and in parliament in Nepal. Can a sovereign country thinks members of the parliament were not allowed to participate and debate on this very serious agreement when the process was going on for the ratification? It is ironic that some of the leaders, it is needless to mention the name, you know them. Leaders of the parties and the leadership of the government in Nepal do not seem paying due attention to country's interest and security. Finally, when I am speaking about the unequal provisions and the provisions detrimental to the national interest dignity of Nepal, I request all concerned to look into the facts and provision of the agreement, which will clearly show the fact MCC is an integral part of Indo-US security strategy. Nepal, if it has to survive, should not enter any kind of military-like or security strategy to respect its own constitution, to safeguard its national independence and dignity. Especially in this competitive world, when the big powers are competing in economic security field, not only in the earth, but in the space. Nepal has to be very cautious. And the patriotic people of Nepal should think about the future of Nepal, Nepal's security, Nepal's economic independence, Nepal's cultural independence, to safeguard both its hard power and soft power. यति भन्दै अध्यक्ष महोदय फेरि आइसक्नुभयो। यहाँहरूले मेरो कुराहरू ध्यानपूर्वक सुनिदिनु भयो। For listening my presentation, I would like to sincerely thank all of you and also welcome our international participants in this world. Nepal is looking forward to all those friends and well-wishers to contribute for the well-being of Nepal and the Nepali people. यति भन्दै अन्त्यमा म फेरि डाक्टर भुजू मेरो मित्रले मेरो बारेमा केही शब्दहरू सद्भावपूर्ण पृष्ठभूमिको स्मरण गराइदिनु भएकोमा उहाँलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु र यो कार्यक्रममा मलाई फाउन्डेसन फर पिस डेभलपमेन्ट एन्ड सोशलिजम को तर्फबाट यी केही शब्दहरू नेपालले भोग्नु परेका कैयौं असमान सन्धि सम्झौताहरूको श्रृङ्खलामा सबभन्दा पछिल्लो पटक दुःखका साथ नेपालले बेहोर्नु परेको एमसीसी प्रोजेक्ट एग्रिमेन्टको बारेमा केही तथ्यहरू राख्ने अवसर दिनुभएकोमा म पूर्व प्रधानमन्त्री कुनै बेला त्यही पार्टीको म जहाँ थिएँ अध्यक्ष कमरेड झलनाथ खनाल, कमरेड भन्ने उहाँलाई मनपर्छ भनेर प्रयोग गरेका हुँ। म उहाँलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु र उहाँको संगठनलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। With these words, please allow me to stop my presentation. धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद डाक्टर राव। अलि लामै छलफल गर्ने हामीले सोचेका थियौँ, तर समय निकै घर्किसकेको हुनाले श्रोतावृन्दबाट दुईटा मात्रै प्रश्नहरू लिउँ कि जस्तो लागिरहेछ। एउटा लेफ्टबाट लिउँ, एउटा राइटबाट लिउँ, के अरे हुन्छ। मेरो दाहिने त्यो पार्लियामेन्टको लेफ्ट राइट होइन यो मेरो। यता लेफ्टबाट कसैको? हजुर, डाक्टर रेशम हो, एकजना भयो, ठिक छ। अनि यताबाट कोही महिला आइदिनु भयो, राम्रो। महिला त देख्दै देखिनु मैले। हाम्रो माइक एकचोटि उहाँ पुऱ्याइदिन सक्नुहुन्छ भाइ? पर छ। भोलिन्टियर साथीहरू डाक्टर रेशम थापा। त्यसपछि यता कोही बोल्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने हात उठाइहाल्नु है। पछाडिको साथी मैले राम्रो भ्यू पाइनँ, एनिवे मैले याद गरेको छु।
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Resham Thapa from Tribhuvan University. As usual, रावल सरको गजबको कुरा सुने, तर नयाँ कुरा सुने मैले आज। सायद धेरैजनालाई नयाँ लाग्यो होला। के मेन्सन गर्नुभयो भन्दा रावल सरले यो 10 बुँदे कुनै डकुमेन्टको मेन्सन गर्नुभयो र त्यसमा प्रदीप गेवालीजीले 10वटा बुँदा मध्ये कुनै एउटा बुँदामा युएस आर्मी बेस नेपालमा बनाउने भन्ने प्रपोज गरिएको छ भन्ने। अघि मैले त्यसो सुने, मैले गल्ती सुनेको रहेछु भने त यो क्वेसन छोडिदिए भयो, होइन भने यसलाई अलिकति क्लियर पारिदिनु न सर। यो कुरा चाहिँ मलाई नितान्त नयाँ लाग्यो। आर्मी बेस बनाउने प्रपोजल 10वटा बुँदा मध्ये कुनै एउटा बुँदामा, जसलाई प्रदीप गेवालीजीले बनाउनु भएको थियो। थ्याङ्क यू।
अनि अर्को प्रश्न पनि लिइहालौँ है डाक्टर साहब, अर्को प्रश्न पनि लिइहालौँ। यता पछाडिको साथीलाई दिनु होला, त्यहाँ हात उठाइसक्नु भएको छ, कालो कोट लगाइराख्नु भएको साथी हुनुहुन्छ। आफ्नो परिचय दिनुहोस् है। परिचय भनेको नाम।
यहाँहरू सम्पूर्णलाई नमस्ते। यो एमसीसी को बारेमा नेपालमा एउटा ठुलो जुन यो नेपाली समाज आज ठुलो त्रङ्गित छ। खासमा कि यो सम्झौता गर्ने नेपाल सरकार र नेपाली नेताहरू जो अग्रज हुनुहुन्छ। आज नेपाल दुनियाँ आज अर्को ग्रहमा मान्छेको बस्ती बसाल्न सम्भवको अनुसन्धान गरिरहेको बेलामा हामी आज जहाँको त्यहीँ छौँ। के हामी चाहिँ उग्र राष्ट्रवादको नारा घन्काइरहेका छौँ? त्यो उग्र राष्ट्रवादले हाम्रो जीविका कति चल्ने हो? अथवा वैदेशिक ऋण लिने कुरामा जसरी सैन्य रणनीति अन्तर्गतका विदेशीहरूले जसरी हामीमाथि हस्तक्षेप गरिरहेका छन्, एकमाथि एक जसरी नेपाली नेताहरूले, नेपाली नेतृत्वहरूले, नेपाल सरकारका बसेका नेतृत्वहरूले जुन यो समस्याहरू सिर्जना गरिरहेका छन्। आज म जस्तो युवाहरू, आज म भन्छु, म कर्णालीको कालीकोटमा जन्मिएको एउटा युवा, रोजगारीको लागि आज म खाडी मुलुक गइरहेको छु, गइरहनु पर्ने बाध्यता छ। त्यहाँ कर्णालीमा वैदेशिक लगानी सुनिश्चित गर्ने नेतृत्व कहिले पाउने हामी? जब विदेशी लगानी आउँछन्, उग्र राष्ट्रवादका नाराहरू धेरै घन्काइन्छ। जहाँ कुनै विश्वको एउटा धनाटेले लगानी गर्न पर्यो भने ऊ सबैभन्दा बढी फाइदा जुन क्षेत्रमा छ त्यही क्षेत्रमा बढी लगानी गर्दो रहेछ। आज एमसिसीको धेरै कुराहरू चाहिँ संसदमा लैजान हुँदैन थियो। त्यो बेलामा समग्रमा आज चाहिँ एमसिसीको विरुद्ध अपोजिट हुने नेतृत्वहरू त्यो बेलामा सरकारमै हुनुहुन्थ्यो अथवा त्यो पार्टीको नेतृत्व जिम्मेवारी ठाउँमा हुनुहुन्थ्यो। त्यो बेलामा जसरी बाबुराम भट्टराईको पालादेखिका श्रृङ्खलाहरू जसरी एमसिसी नेपालमा छिराइयो त्यो बेला के उहाँहरूले भन्न पर्यो हामी इङ्ग्लिस बुझ्दैनथ्यौँ। उहाँहरूले आज क्लियरली भनिदिनु पर्यो नयाँ जेनेरेसनलाई हामी इङ्ग्लिस बुझ्दैनथ्यौँ। त्यही बेलामा कुन बुदामा के लेखियो त्यही भएर क्लियरली भनिदिनु पर्यो। होइन भने पहिला उहाँहरूले माफी माग्नुपर्छ। आज अप्पर कर्णाली कहिले बन्ने, मुगु कर्णाली कहिले बन्ने, आज रिसोर्स हामी कहिले युज गर्ने र कतिसम्म हामी गरिबी हुने। आज कर्णालीका मान्छेले बत्ती पाल्न पाउँदैनन्। समस्या त्यहाँ हो। वैदेशिक लगानी नेपालमा ल्याउने सुनिश्चित गर्ने र त्यो सबैभन्दा नेपालको हितमा हुने खै त नेतृत्व जन्मिएको। जे कुरामा पनि विरोधको नाममा विरोधको बिहार यदि लागू गर्ने हो भने नेपालमा छिटो गरौँ न। हामी कति पुस्ता चाहिँ आज पनि हामी समस्यामा घेराबन्दी गरिबीको रेखामुनि बसिरहने। रियालिटी के हो? किन जनतालाई तपाईँहरूले बुझाउन सक्नुहुन्न? आज भीमरावल नेकपा एमाले जस्तो पार्टीकोमा विद्रोह गरेर बाहिरिनु परेको छ। झलनाथ खनाल माता नेपालहरू बाहिरिनु परेको छ।
यसो गरौँ न साथी, तपाईँको प्रश्न बुझियो, प्रश्नको उत्तर सुन्नु।
हस्, धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। म डाक्टर रावललाई यो दुईवटा जिज्ञासा र सुझावहरूको रेस्पोन्स गर्न आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु।
प्रश्नकर्ता साथीहरूलाई धन्यवाद छ। म एकदम संक्षेपमा जवाब दिन्छु। यो प्रदीप गेवालीजीको सन्दर्भ जुन छ, उहाँ अमेरिकाको भ्रमण जानुभयो। उहाँ चाहिँ स्टेट पार्टनरसिप एग्रिमेन्ट अर्थात् राज्य साझेदारी सम्झौतामा उहाँले हस्ताक्षर गर्नुभयो। हाम्रो पार्टीको थाई कमिटीमा हामीले त्यसमा बहस गऱ्यौँ। मैले किन हस्ताक्षर गरेर आउनुभयो भने गरिनु भन्नुभयो। पछि अमेरिकाको रक्षा मन्त्रालयबाट प्रकाशित प्रतिवेदनमा उहाँले तत्कालीन अमेरिकी परराष्ट्र मन्त्री सेक्रेटरी अफ स्टेटसँग हात मिलाएर नेपाल र श्रीलङ्का सबभन्दा पछिल्लो यसमा हस्ताक्षर गर्ने देश भयो भनेको मैले देखाएपछि कोही पनि बोलेनन्। बिचमा के भयो भन्ने कुरा उहाँहरूले लुकाएर राख्नुभयो। पछि गएर के भयो भन्दाखेरि नेपालले त्यो एसपिपी छोटकरीमा भन्छु म त्यसलाई, हस्ताक्षर गर्ने भयो भनेर आयो। त्यसका 10 बुँदा सार्वजनिक भए। त्यो 10 बुँदामा पूर्ण रूपमा अमेरिकी सेनालाई, ओहायोको नेसनल गार्डलाई नेपालमा ल्याउने र नेपालका सबै विमानस्थलहरूलाई अमेरिकी सेनाले प्रयोग गर्न सक्ने भनेर लेखेको थियो। त्यसको संसदमा विरोध भयो, नागरिक समाजमा विरोध भयो। हामीले प्रतिनिधि सभाको संसद सदनमा विरोध गरेर पछि तत्कालीन परराष्ट्र मन्त्रीले यो पछिको कुरा गरेँ मैले, प्रतिनिधि सभामा आएर अब हामी अहिले नलिने भयो भनेर पत्र पठायौँ भने त्यो पत्र प्रतिनिधि सभामा पेश गरेर भन्दा उहाँहरूले गर्नुभएको छैन। सम्भवतः उपयुक्त मौका उहाँहरू हेरिरहनु भएको छ। मैले यही कुरा भन्न खोजेको हुँ प्रदीप गेवालीजीको सम्बन्धमा। तपाईँहरूले अमेरिकी रक्षा मन्त्रालय पेन्टागनबाट त्यो बेला प्रकाशित रिपोर्ट हेर्नुभयो भने त्यहाँ तपाईँ यो कुरा पाउनुहुन्छ। मैले यत्तिकै भनेको छैन। अब अर्को साथीले जुन कुरा यो जति बेला लगानीको कुरा आउँछ त्यति बेला राष्ट्रवाद जाग्छ भन्नुभयो, त्यस्तो होइन। लगानी भनेको देशलाई सिद्ध्याउनुको लागि त होइन होला नि। यदि लगानी भनेको त्यहाँका जनताको हितको लागि हो भने त्यो देशको संविधान अनुसार जानु पर्दैन। माथिल्लो प्रणालीको कुरा गर्नुभयो। मैले जिएमआरसँग जति बेला सुशील कोइरालाले त्यो गर्नुभयो, 11 पेजको जिएमआर कम्पनीले बनाउँदैन। यो भारतमै सिद्धिन लागेको कम्पनी हो भनेर मैले नेपालका कुनै नेता बाँकी नराखेर घर घरमा मैले त्यो दिएँ तथ्य सहित। कान्तिपुर पत्रिकामा मैले छापेँ, उहाँहरूले सुन्नु भएन। सुशील कोइरालाजीले मलाई एक दिन सिंहदरबारमा बोलाएर के भन्नुभयो, राहुलजी 1 वर्षभित्रमा यसले चाहिँ वित्तीय प्रबन्ध गर्न सकेन भने म तुरुन्त खारेज गर्छु। उहाँ आज यो संसारमा हुनुहुन्न, म धेरै भन्न चाहन्न। आज जिएमआरसँग त्यो हस्ताक्षर गरेको 11 वर्ष भयो, त्यसले ओगटेको 17 वर्ष भयो। अनि तपाईँ भन्नुहुन्छ वैदेशिक लगानीको लागि उसलाई जिम्मा नलाएर हुन्छ र भन्ने प्रश्न गर्नुहुन्छ। मिल्छ त्यो प्रश्न? के कर्णालीका गरिब जनता र म पनि सुदूरपश्चिमको मान्छे हो, त्यहाँका गरिब जनताको जीवन उठाउने भनेको नेपाल सम्पूर्ण रूपमा विदेशको हातमा जिम्मा गरेर नेपाल उठ्छ? यदि त्यसरी उठ्ने भए काङ्ग्रेसले गरेको कोशी र गण्डक सम्झौतापछि नेपाल त चन्द्रमामा पुगिसक्नु पर्थ्यो। पुग्यो? आज के छ? तपाईँ तराई क्षेत्रमा जानुभयो भने भर्खरै तपाईँहरू हामीसँग सोचमा ताजा हुनुपर्छ। पानीको कुलो नपाएर मध्य प्रदेशका खेतहरूका चिरा परे। अनि केपी ओलीले प्रधानमन्त्री भएर गएर भन्नुभयो म 500वटा गहिरा पानी तान्ने कुवा बनाउँछु, टिबोल। नदी नाला जति एउटा अधिकार छैन नेपालको। मित्रहरू, जसले विदेशीलाई सुम्पिँदाखेरि विकास हुन्छ भन्नुभयो, जवाब दिनुहोस्। नदी नाला त सबै बुझाइसक्यो त, किन हामी यहाँ 1 करोड मान्छेले देश छोड्नु पर्यो? जहाँसम्म खाडीको कुरा छ, हो नेपालको जनशक्ति, शिक्षित, बुद्धिजीवी, नदी नाला, खनिज अब युरेनियम दिन लागेका छन्। विदेशीको हातमा बुझाउँदाखेरि हामी गरिब भएका छौँ, हाम्रा विकासका ढोका बन्द भएका छन्। यो कुरा बुझ्नु पर्यो। यो उग्र राष्ट्रवाद होइन, यो देशभक्तिपूर्ण विचार हो। यदि विदेशीलाई सुम्पेर सबै विकास हुने स्थिति थियो भने कङ्गोदेखि अफ्रिका र दक्षिण अमेरिकाका उपनिवेशहरूमा आज जनता मरेर खान नपाएर मान्छेको मासु खाने स्थितिमा पुग्दैन थियो होला। पुग्थे? किन भएन विकास? कङ्गोको हिरा, मोती, खनिज अमेरिकाका धनीहरू जेट लिएर कङ्गोमा जान्छन्। अध्ययन गर्नुहोस्। जेट भरि राखेर उनीहरू आफ्नो देशमा लैजान्छन्। कङ्गोका मान्छेहरू भात खानको लागि एकले अर्कोलाई मार्छन्। पढ्नुहोस् इतिहास। जहाँसम्म ऋण र अनुदान लिने कुरा छ, म त्यसको विरोधी होइन। तर योभन्दा अगाडि पनि त ऋण अनुदान लिएको थियो नि, पञ्चायत कालमा पनि लिएको थियो नि। पञ्चायत कालका 42वटा उद्योग धन्दा बन्द गरियो। आज भिरकुटी कागज कारखाना भएको भए त्यहाँ कतिजनालाई रोजगारी पाउँथ्यो? तपाईँहरू गैँडाकोटमा गएर हेर्नुहोस्, मान्छेको अस्थि पन्जर जस्तो नेपालीलाई गिजाइरहेको छ। अनि यस्तो कुरा उठाउँदा उग्र राष्ट्रवाद हुन्छ? राष्ट्रवाद भने के त्यसो भए? बुझाइदिउँ सब विदेशीलाई। यही हो त। पुरुष जतिलाई भाडाका सिपाही बनाऊ, महिला जतिलाई राति क्लबमा नाच्ने बनाऊ, गजब हुन्छ देश। त्यसो हुने भए फिलिपिन्स एसियाको सबभन्दा धनी देश बन्नु पर्थ्यो, जहाँ सैनिक अखाडा छ अमेरिकाको, जहाँका महिलाहरू मैले भन्नु त नहुने हो ठुलो सङ्ख्यामा वेश्यावृत्ति गर्न बाध्य छ। त्यहाँका मानिसहरू युरोप, अमेरिका, म इन्डोनेसिया गएको थिएँ, म वहाँ नेदरल्यान्ड्स गएको थिएँ। त्यहाँका क्लबहरूमा त्यहाँका महिलाहरू छन्, हङकङमा छन्। खै देश माटो। दक्षिण पूर्व एसियामा सबभन्दा गरिब देश फिलिपिन्स। त्यसकारण यो उग्र राष्ट्रवाद होइन, यो देशभक्ति हो। यो नेपालको स्वाभिमानको आवाज हो। स्वाभिमानको रक्षा गरेर देशको जनशक्ति, प्राकृतिक साधन स्रोतहरूको रक्षा गरेर मात्रै संसारको इतिहासमा देश धनी भएका छन्। नभए अर्काले चुसेर कङ्काल बनाइदिन्छ। ती अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय कम्पनीहरू नेपाललाई धनी बनाउन आएका भनेर कल्पना नगर्नुहोस्। यदि त्यस्तो थियो भने एमसिसीको एउटा कर्मचारीले 10 लाख तलब खाएर याकेन्डे यतिमा कार्यालय खोल्दैन थियो कि जुम्लामा गएर खोल्थ्यो? जुम्लामा नखोले पनि कमसेकम सिंहदरबारभित्रको अर्थ मन्त्रालयमा खोल्थ्यो। अनि विदेशी लगानीले चन्द्रमा पुगिँदैन, भ्रममा नपरौँ।
हस्, धन्यवाद। So we have run out of time, so I apologize that we cannot take any more questions from the floor. So with this, I would like to conclude this session, special session now. The conclusion is that, as Dr. Rao has presented with proofs and with references, with citation, that MCC is a part of IPS of the United States of America. यति भन्दै यो अहिलेको सेसन यही समाप्त भएको यहाँ सबैमा म निवेदन गर्न चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद। For the next session, we have the title MCC Project in Nepal, Indo-Pacific Strategy and Debates, and the chair is Mr. Leela Mani Paudyal. But I just am told to inform you that let's have a tea break, short tea break for 5 minutes, and then we'll resume the session. 10 minutes, okay, 10 minutes. 10 मिनटको लागि चियाको लागि, कफीको लागि ब्रेक गरौँ भन्ने भएको छ। कृपया यहाँहरू चिया कफी लिएर आउनु भए पनि हुन्छ अथवा